Good morning and welcome to week 7 of the Destination Fantasy Podcast, where your boy Jamar, I'm here solo today. Um, Look, we're a month and a half into the regular season. We have another international game today. My goal is to get you to the kickoff to that game, and that's between the Rams and the Jags over in London. That's pretty much Jacksonville's second home away from home. Actually, might end up being a permanent home one day. But nevertheless, I got you. Any lineup questions, trade questions, anything fantasy related, I'm here. So I guess with all that being said, just going to the Rams Jags game. As we know, if you haven't known, you've probably been under a rock. But Puka Nacua, he's out. He's not playing. He's probably not playing next week either. Rolled ankle from last week in that very physical game in Baltimore there. But it is what it is. I have Puka in the league, and this is why you have depth on your team and plan for such occasions, because in the NFL, injuries happen every single game. So it is what it is. All right. So just want to do a quick recap on what happened on Thursday. And the Steelers and the Bengals played. Joe Flacco, what can you say? He got there, started, phenomenal game. But I'll put it to you like this. If you were patient on Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, it's starting to pay off here. Sweetest day was yesterday. So I'll put it to you like this. You will want to find someone that gives you attention the same way that Joe Flacco gave Jamar Chase attention in this game. Now, I don't have the stat line in front of me, but I'm pretty sure the man had 23 targets, 16 catches. And actually, I'll tell you in 1 second. That's my bad for not having it up. I should have had that up already, but yep. 16 catches, 161 yards, and a TD. 38.1 fantasy points. So if you had Jamar Chase, you are feeling pretty good right now. If you started T. Higgins, you got to have some type of sigh of relief. If you had to start Chase Brown, I mean, the man went over 100 yards on the ground. That's the first time he's did that all year. And whatever reason, if you started Joe Flacco, you pretty much the new Joe Koo. On the other side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers came to play. Multiple touchdowns was thrown in this game by both quarterbacks. For whatever reason, if you had Pat Fryer move from your lineup, I mean, you paid off too. So nevertheless, this game turned out to be pretty fun, and actually a lot of Thursday night games this year has actually been pretty good games. Dawson said he did his thing. He definitely did his thing. Like, that was, a breath of fresh air. And that pretty much gave a big sigh of relief for a lot of people thinking the season was washed, or more so your season was washed if you spent high draft capital on these Cincinnati players. Knowing that Joe Flacco can come in, 2 games in 10 days and, bring life back to some of these players. So yeah, this game here, phenomenal. Jamar Chase, I mean, what more can you say? Arguably the best receiver in the league. And the fact that they, got the upset win, I'm pretty sure anybody that's Cincinnati fans, probably just as happy as well. So yeah. Yeah, Jamar Chase did his thing. 38.1. Pat Fryermuth, 28.1. Joe Flacco, 25.98. Aaron Rodgers, 22.56. And T. Higgins, 21.6. So yeah, there you go. I have Jamar Chase in one league. I think Chase Brown in two. I didn't play Chase Brown, but I know for me going forward, there's a little bit more optimism now. I didn't necessarily want to cut Chase Brown, but at some point he did become unplayable with Jake Brown in the lineup. Insert Joe Flacco, and things have started to change. I mean, they got the Jets next week, my Bears the week after, the bye week, and then they're at Pittsburgh, New England, Baltimore, Buffalo. All of a sudden, that schedule gets a little easier from a fantasy standpoint. So, there's definitely some things to take into consideration going forward with your Cincinnati players. All right. So, with that being said, all right, this London game. So, like I said, my goal is to get you at least to the London game here, to the kickoff, and that's in about, if my math's correct, about 52 minutes or so. As we know, Puka Nacua is out. So for Rams players, of course, Devontae Adams should get an increase in targets. I'm pretty sure the tight end, Higbee, should get an increase in targets, but I think the focal point of the offense will probably go towards Kyren Williams in the running game. Jacksonville is a good team, but they can still be had on the ground. To my understanding, they do lead the league in takeaways on their defense. A lot of it is in the air. So I expect, Kyren Williams to definitely do his thing. On the other side of the ball, just like we just saw Jamar Chase starting to pick up steam, Brian Thomas Jr. Now, that's a person I do have in multiple leagues. And just to be transparent, I'm in nine leagues, and I have Brian Thomas Jr. in 3 of them. And yeah, of course, it was definitely a rocky start and has been, but the last couple of weeks, it's starting to show some life. The target's been there. He just, forgot how to catch a football. But, the last 2 weeks has definitely been a wonderful thing in that regard. And I don't see that, just falling off a cliff here. But, I'm definitely optimistic there. Good morning, Hunter. Should I start Bo or Caleb? I know the weather's going to play a factor in Chicago. Yeah, so just to, I guess give more of an in-depth idea. The rain it's raining here. It's been raining since yesterday. The rain should subside around 1 p.m., so an hour into the game. So, the conditions are a little slick here. But nevertheless, all right, let's get your question answered. On the top of my head, I forgot who the Broncos are. Okay, Broncos at home against the Giants, and of course, Bears at home against the Saints. So even with the weather, and I'm not being biased here, but my boy Caleb, he's actually, I feel like the upside has been there. The production has been there the whole season so far. I mean, he's averaging 20.4 fantasy points a game. Last 3 weeks, the offense definitely has been rolling. The only team in the league to score at least 21 points a game. And the fact that they did it twice on the road here in the last 2 weeks, still putting up points. And we're going against a pedestrian Saints team. Their defense isn't great, even with the conditions. I mean, in the way that Ben Johnson is calling the offense, I don't see why not. I don't see why Caleb can't continue to put up points, even in the rain. I mean, Bo isn't a bad option either going against the Giants. And sometimes I don't know which Giants team is going to, show up. Sometimes, they look pathetic. And then sometimes, they look like what they did against the Eagles. So I would say Bo's floor is solid, but I'll also say Caleb Williams has a solid floor and a higher ceiling at the moment. So that's where I would go. I would go Caleb. But I feel like both is a solid option there. So yeah, good luck to you. But yeah, this London game, like I said, I'm prioritizing. Any questions for this London game, definitely want to get them answered, before kickoff. As far as the slate, definitely got plenty of action again. This is the third straight week where we got football all day, from waking up early in the morning all the way to Sunday night football. It's definitely, I don't know, it's heaven for me. Like, I'm a kid at a candy store at 5 years old. What can I say on that one? Nick, what's up, man? Good morning. I feel crazy asking this, but pick 2, half point. We got AJ Brown, Jamo, Addison, or Swift. Duval, or do I say it like your coach? Duval. But either way, Mr. Duval got your team winning out here. But all right, so back to your question. All right, let's talk this out. As we all know, AJ Brown has been a super disappointment this year. I have him in one of the 9 leagues that I'm playing, and it's definitely not good times with that. Eagles on the road at Minnesota. Jamo, if I'm not mistaken, the Monday night game at home against Tampa Bay. Jordan Addison in the same game with the Eagles. DeAndre Swift, my Bears at home against the Saints. So, half point. All right, so just based on what have you done for me lately, DeAndre Swift will be one of the players. I got Swift in 2 leagues. I'm playing him with confidence, especially in the flex. If I got him as a flex, I'm definitely playing him there. The other one, I guess, depending on what you need, right? I mean, we know that AJ Brown is a top 5 wide receiver in this league, and it's just a matter of if Jalen Hurts can give him the ball early and often. So to beat Minnesota, you got to do 2 things, in my opinion, based on how Brian Flores calls the defense. Either you have to run the ball straight at them, or if you're passing the ball, you got to get it out quick, more times than not. So I would say, and Carson Wentz is starting. So here's the deal. So if you need like all the upside in the world, Jameson Williams, I do like the Buccaneers Lions matchup. That should be a lot of points. Should be. I feel like DeAndre Swift is one of the better options, so I would go Swift there. If you still have faith in Carson Wentz, then I guess Addison wouldn't be a bad play. But for me, I would go Swift. I would go Swift and Brown, and I don't have the warm and fuzzies on the Brown one, but I would say that second one, it all depends on what you're looking for. That one is tough, but Swift is definitely in my lineup. Sure. So let me know what you end up doing, Nick. I appreciate you stopping by like always. Hunter said, all right, Malik Washington or Sean Tucker. I'm in a return league. That's why I have these players. Gotcha. Whew. Let's see. All right, I would go, if that's the case, I would go Tucker just because of the over-under in that game. Because of it has a likely chance to put up points, therefore more opportunities for Tucker. That's how I would look at it, personally. So that's where I'm going. I'm going Tucker. So good luck to you there. T says, need to drop one for a kicker, Vidal, Pearsall, Worthy, or Marv. But I don't know. So, yeah, Vital. That's where I'm leaning towards as well. But let me see something really quick with that one. One second. So I think Hampton, the earliest he'll come back is week 10. I see your point. But I still would drop him though. Just because, when Pearsall does come back, he's a PPR machine. Worthy got so much upside. Marv got so much upside. And then all three of those are number one options in their respective offenses, even though, Rice is back, but Worthy benefits from Rice coming back. So his upside just became a little higher too. So I still would drop the running back. I know that one's tough. And I definitely get where you're coming from. So I hope the weather in Cleveland isn't too bad because I have HN. What is the weather in Cleveland? See, now you got me curious. I'm about to look it up myself. See. It's supposed to rain as well over there by Lake Erie. I put it to you like this. Weather or no weather, the matchup against the Browns is going to be tough regardless. But you still play your stars with confidence. Just expectations might have to be lowered. But nevertheless, HN is the offense for Miami. So the volume should be there. He probably still finds the end zone, especially in that environment. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that unless, a monsoon comes in or something. Ain't like they're, on the East Coast with a nor'easter or anything like that. But nevertheless, I think HN would be all right. Cheers to you too. Good luck. Matter of fact, good luck to everyone today. Again, this is week 7. We've had, 6 weeks worth of evidence here. Injuries are piling up like it's no other. All you can do is the best that you can do. Just finding your way through these situations. Like a lot of times it just comes down to your gut feeling with some of this stuff. Oh, thank you. More so, thank you for joining this morning. All right, so 39 minutes to kick off. As I wait, any more questions, just run through the slate here. If you hear that bell ring, it's the family cat down here who every Sunday loves to come down here. I don't know why, but he just does. And as you see at the bottom of the ticker, updated some injury information. Josh Jacobs, game time decision. Matter of fact, with that plus, I don't know if you all heard, but like the flight delay to get into Arizona, that may seem minor, but that could be a big deal to a certain degree, maybe as far as, rhythm and preparation and whatever these teams really need to do and these players need to do to get ready for a game, especially on the road like that. So I don't know, just something to think about, to look out for. It could be very minor, but if Jordan Love and that offense comes out a little flat, that could be part of the reason. And and then going back to Josh Jacobs, a true game time decision, I think, because of illness. And they said if he doesn't go, then what's his name, Emmanuel Wilson would be the feature back. Now, I don't know if that's by committee or not. I mean, haven't really been in this situation yet. So, I mean, I guess we're all going to find out together, but just giving you a heads up there. But yeah, as far as this slate, as far as these games, uh, I think there's definitely a couple things to be monitoring going forward. Uh, for one, let's start in Kansas City. Um, pretty much everybody that's had Rashid Rice has been waiting on Rashid Rice to come back, and what a better game than against the Raiders, right? Uh, which that team, I don't think there's enough water to put out the fire. That's what's happening in Las Vegas at the moment. I have Rashid Rice in 2 leagues, so I've been patiently waiting. In both those leagues, my record is 3-3, so I've been weathering the storm. I mean, at times I wish I had another player, but nevertheless, I made the sacrifice. And this is where we are. Due to suspension, you can't put him in the IR spot, so you're just taking up a bench spot just to hold on to him. So I am anticipating and hoping that Rice comes out being productive like he always has been in his short career so far, and that frees up everybody else in that offense. Good morning, Chris. Should I start Pollard, Pacheco, or Michael Carter? Oof. All right, is this PPR? I'm going to assume it's PPR unless you tell me something different. All right, so Titans at home against the Patriots. We just talking about Kansas City, them being at home against the Raiders. Michael Carter just kind of alluded to Arizona being at home against the Packers. So my initial thought is okay, PPR. All right. So my initial thought is Tony Pollard. Now, all 3 of these players split the backfield on their respective teams. But for me, I'm looking at a little bit more of the intangible side, to where they just fired their head coach. And normally, for whatever reason, the first game, after a head coach is fired in season, like, the team has a little bit more oomph, more juice, more pizzazz. They come out with more energy. And so New England is pretty good, but they're not invincible. And to my understanding, they're going to simplify the playbook a little bit more for Cam Ward. Maybe that might make opportunities a little bit more easier, decisions to be made a little bit more easier. So I kind of give the lean to Tony Pollard. Kansas City backfield scares me to the point to where I think they got 4 running backs back there, and I know at least 3 for sure between Pacheco, Hunt, and Brashard Smith, the rookie. So it's too much going on. And then I would be for Michael Carter, but it went for Bam Knight that came out of nowhere last week. And against that defense, I'm leaning towards I would start Pollard on that one. So good luck to you. Like, subscribe, share, continue to rock with us. But yeah, that Chiefs game with Rice, I think Rice frees up a lot of players if we think he's going to be as productive as we anticipate. Sorry. Worthy should have better looks. Hollywood Brown gets one-on-one matchups. The running game in general gets better. Maybe the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. So it's a lot of moving parts there. Then on the other side of the ball, with Brock Bowers probably not playing again, and I have Brock Bowers in 2 of my 9 leagues, and that it's very deflating. Geno Smith hasn't played well at all. I mean, I guess I see why they wrote the man off a couple of years ago. But maybe it's just, that time. Genty has been better as of late. This matchup here, I mean, not the greatest matchup in the world, but volume is king. You can get away with scoring fantasy points just based off of volume alone. So So that's the Raiders and Chiefs matchup right there. Thank you for joining this morning. All right. As we move along, about 34 minutes to kick off for the Rams Jags game. Once again, I'm solo this morning. My other three, counterparts, they all got to work. Or, well, two of them got to work. One's got something to do. Nevertheless, I got you. I'm here. Next week we'll have more people, but we'll make it through. Next game, Dolphins, Browns. Between the weather and just how good of a defense the Browns is, basically take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, I still think Achan get his. And I think Quinshon Judkins get his. So pretty much the running back should get theirs. Outside of that, take everything with a grain of salt. Fannin might be a thing. I mean, Waller might be a thing again, but take it with a grain of salt. That's the best. That's the best I could tell you on that one. All right, so we got one here from Jelly of the Month. Have to drop a player since Coker's coming off IR. Drop Coker or Juwan Jennings. I have Tatton Bourne on this team too. Not sure Jennings' true health. All right, let's talk this through. So Coker, like you said, he's back, but I feel like the negative to that is he's playing on a team to where we're still questioning the quarterback play and the offense in general. So I guess to play devil's advocate, like how good will he be in this offense as it currently stands? The other side with Jennings is, we've seen Jennings be very productive when he's healthy, but I definitely want to point out that George Kittle is back, and the targets may not, be there as much anymore either. So just going by based on the better offense, better coach, better scheme, I would lean towards drop Coker. But, both players do have limited upside, especially going forward after this week. So take everything with a grain of salt. But if you, make me choose, I would choose to drop Coker there. That's how I'm looking at it. So good luck to you. All right. So back to the slate. Another matter of fact, just one last thing about the Browns Dolphins. The over-under is 34.5. That should tell you everything you need to know about the lack of offense that Vegas is predicting in this game. So there you go. All right, Patriots, Titans, the over-under is 42.5, a little bit better, but still some limitations here. Kind of mentioned earlier, with Callahan being fired and the interim coach comes in and usually, teams a little fired up, play with more energy, yada, yada, yada. So maybe the Titans' performance as a whole is probably a little bit better. They don't have Calvin Ridley, but I don't think that really matters. Tony Pollard is probably the only flex-worthy play at this point. And, other side of the ball, Drake May has been phenomenal so far this year. I am waiting for Travion Henderson to get the keys to the car, like get rid of Ramondre Stevenson. Like that whole situation should have been over with by now. But they just continue to give this man opportunities, Mr. Fumbleitis. But at some point, Travion Henderson's time will come, and when it comes, it should be a lot better than what's going on right now. All right, so Nick says weather's supposed to be terrible in Cleveland. Yeah, that sounds about right. Joke here, but I guess, what isn't terrible in Cleveland? So, like I said, joke. I ain't trying to offend anybody in Cleveland. All right, morning, Dylan. All right, let's have a day. Full PPR made a trade. Move Swift. Okay, you already have H.N. Judkins, JCN for Quentin Johnston. Needed wide receiver help. Good move. Also, one flex, one QB. Okay. All right, we'll do this one at a time. So, yeah, I think that's a good move based on what has happened this year and what has happened lately. You pretty much, sold high on Swift while getting Johnston, who surprisingly has been very productive this year with the Chargers, actually looking like a first-round draft pick, that they invested in a few years ago. So I feel like that's a good move, especially if you needed a wide receiver help. All right, and then let's go to the one flex. We got Chubb, Marks, Golden. So I'm probably going to end up picking Golden by default for two reasons. One, I feel like his targets is starting to pick up in that offense. He's starting to be utilized a little bit more. And the other thing is, for me, I'm speaking for me, I don't trust Houston prime time going all the way to Seattle and being productive on the ground. I don't see it. I don't see it. So that's where I'm at. As far as QB, what we got? Bryce Young at the Jets, Darnold at Houston, Mac Jones versus Atlanta. So even though the matchup is pretty good, I'm gonna just rule out Bryce Young by default. I can't see a scenario where I am willingly starting Bryce Young just yet. I'm just not there yet. Darnold in Houston, we know Houston has a pretty good defense. So, but Darnold has been pretty solid so far this year. I think Mac Jones gives you the most upside in that matchup. And also, if Atlanta can do what they did last week, especially on the offensive side of the ball, that would give more opportunity for Mac Jones and the 49ers to put up points, and knowing that George Kittle's back, giving another elite pass catcher, that helps there. So I will go Mac Jones there. So good luck to you, Dylan. All right. And Mr. 23, last call for me. Do I pick up Stafford to stack with Devontae or Carson Wentz to stack with Jettis or play Jordan Love? So I guess it goes to more so which quarterback do I trust in which game, in their particular game setting / environment. Jordan Love on the road at Arizona, knowing all the intangible negative things that happened yesterday for the Packers, and then knowing that I don't think I would start Jordan Love. Heck, I got Jordan Love in 2 leagues, one in my dynasty league and one in a 2-quarterback league. I'm starting Jordan Love by default in the 2-quarterback league. But in a dynasty league, I'm not starting him. I'm either going with Justin Fields or Sam Darnold on that one. I'm leaning towards Stafford. And it's because he's actually been pretty good lately. Now, I know, and we probably expect his production to slightly fall, right? Because there's no Puka. And I think generally the offense on average, the stats are a little decline there. But, I mean, for what it's worth, he's had a number one wide receiver playing a number 2 there the whole time. Like, Devontae Adams, to me, is still a number 1 wideout. Just happened to have the luxury to be playing next to Puka Nacua. I mean, the running game will help. You still got people like Tutu Atwell, Higgins, things of that nature. Jacksonville, which once again is a much improved team, and I think they lead the league in takeaways. However, as you pretty much saw the last couple of weeks, they points can be scored against them. So, and then lastly, Carson Wentz. I cannot get on board with that one. So for me, I would pick up Stafford. So that's where I'm at. So good luck to you. Like, subscribe, share, continue to rock with us. Foxborough, what's going on? Morning. All right, for the 16, we got Charbonnet, Spears, Lamb, Sutton, Kate Otten, Keenan Allen. Bench got Jennings and Tutton. Rest on bye. Should I make any changes? No changes need to be made on that one, in my opinion. No. I'm glad for you that Lamb is back, because I know you needed that one. And then in the other one, full PPR question, pick up one. I got Caleb Williams, Darnold, and Stafford. Who do you like best? All right, so once again, taking my unbiased cap off here, like, ignore the sign behind me. Ignore that. But just based on, I guess, production, consistency, matchup, I mean, I'm going with Caleb Williams. Like, this version of Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson has been awesome for my football team and also for fantasy football as well. Gives you the highest upside. Yeah, it's raining here, but it's not supposed to rain the whole game. It's not like pouring down rain either. It's been raining since yesterday. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, in my opinion, on that one. It's not like it's a monsoon or, a tsunami or anything like that. And then, see, and then the last thing with Caleb, I mean, the way that they're play calling, he's giving you production on the ground as well. So, and he's been very efficient with the football. That's the last thing I'll say. So I will go Caleb Williams on that one. All right, so in this one here, full PPR, got Jacobs, Merritt, Lamb, Rice, McBride, Adunze, Bench. I got Dobbins, Sutton, and Waddle. Sounds good to change the flex. So yeah. Sutton, Adunze, Sutton. That one it'll be between Sutton and Adunze for me. I do like Adunze more. I would keep it as is, but I just definitely want to point out the Jacobs one. I mean, he's a true game time decision, so have contingency plans in the event that he does not go. So I just want to point that out in case you didn't know already. So I need to win in all these. My best record is 3-3. Oof. Yeah, I get it. And I will say, just based on the 3 that you sent, 2 of them definitely had a lot to do with CeeDee Lamb being out. And I see that 8-man you've been stashing Rashee Rice. So I say that 8-man one, you was more so just weathering the storm. That 16-man with Lamb being out, I mean, you definitely just trying to save face until he came back. So I get it. Yeah, Jacobs. Random. I think they says illness or something. True game time decision. So yeah, just definitely have a contingency plan ready for that one. All right, so going back to the slate, we less than 20 minutes to kick off. All right. Panthers, Jets. Oh boy. Well, the over-under is 40.5. It's not too terrible. This is a make it or break it moment for Mr. Justin Fields. And of course, me being from the Chicagoland area and being a Bears fan, definitely aware of Justin Fields and his ability, but some got to give. As I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about my dynasty matchup. I think I might lean Sam Darnold here. So with Garrett Wilson being out, like Justin Fields will have to have an unusual performance to be productive. Not saying that he can't, but some got to give. Breece Hall should be. I would imagine Breece Hall should be in everybody's lineup today. That would be the one player from the Jets that you should play and play with confidence. The volume will be there, and he has the ability. He still has that ability to break one off for 60 yards and a touchdown. He does. It's just, unfortunately, the Jets are a dysfunctional franchise. As far as the Panthers, it was, very rewarding to see McMillan find the end zone last week for the first time. That was great. And I don't see why he can't find the end zone again. Jets, even their defense has been bad. Sauceman getting sauced. Now I know last week I feel like last week was an anomaly because they was, in London against the Broncos and just an awful, awful game. But the running back position for the Panthers, that's the one that's probably will cause some questions in your lineups between Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard being back. And to my understanding, they're going to try to find a way to utilize both, but it's like, this is one of those wait and see approaches. If you have Dowdle and you don't have a better flex option, fine. If you have Chuba, you don't have a better flex option, fine. If you have to start him as an RB2, as I famously say, I don't have the warm and fuzzies on that, but take it for what it's worth. Saints, Bears. First off, bear down. Second, I feel like DeAndre Swift should get his, especially based on how they created running lanes for the man, and he averaged over 7 yards a carry last week. That was very, very encouraging. Not only for DeAndre Swift in the running game and for fantasy, but also as far as the team as a whole. If you can run the football, it opens up passing lanes. Caleb Williams should be fine. Roma Dunze should be fine. I'm curious to see if DJ Moore has a pulse in this game. If either, Cole Kmet or Colston Loveland has a pulse in this game. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Luther Burden III, because that man is good at football. He has the it factor. There's not too many players that have the it factor. He has the it factor. He just third or fourth on the depth chart because Zacchaeus is in the slot. And so Luther Burden III, that's one of those players. I'm just giving out gems. If for whatever reason, if DJ Moore was able to miss time or get traded or things of that nature start to happen, that's a player right there. As far as the Saints, I would imagine Kamara should get his, but I thought Bill would have got his last week against my team, but somehow, some way, my team decided to actually, stop the run. That was a little interesting there. Outside of that, I know Olave's been getting targeted, and Shaheed. I'm just not a fan of Rattler at all. So take it how you want. The over-under is 44.5. Eagles, Vikings, kind of talked about it briefly earlier. In order for the the Eagles to be productive on offense, either run the ball, either Saquon Barkley right up the middle at them, or get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands as quick as possible, type deal. I do think Jettis will get his. I think Addison can get his. Eagles defense hasn't been great. I mean, they end up giving up 30 to Jackson Dart. So Vikings players should be fine. Colts Chargers, this one right here, definitely got some eyes on. The Colts side of the ball, kind of wish, Walter was here because he'll talk more about it. But Daniel Jones has been doing this thing. Jonathan Taylor has been a monster. I'll tell you another monster, Tyler Warren. He's been sensational at the tight end position. Pittman has been pretty good. So I feel like all four of those players can definitely be in the lineup this week. Chargers side of the ball, the running back position, I'm not sold between Haskins, but I'm not sold on it at all. Not completely. Wish they had Hampton back, but it is what it is. I hope Ladd can have another Ladd game like last week, because prior to that, I mean, it's been the Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen show for the most part, and Ladd's was pretty much sponge Patrick on that meme when he's looking out the window and seeing SpongeBob and Patrick having fun outside. So I need Squidward here, who is Ladd McConkey, to go have some fun too. So I do think they're all playable. Giants, Broncos. The running back position for the Broncos, like Sean Payton, what exactly are we doing? Are we going to let RJ Harvey get the keys to the car? Or are we still doing the J.K. Dobbins thing? Or like RJ has so much upside, but he's being restricted here. Dobbins, I mean, he's still a good back, but it's like I hope at some point someone got to give there. Bo knows. I'm waiting for a Bo Nix performance, like one of those signature performances that he had a couple times last year. It hasn't really been there yet, but maybe it could. Once again, I mentioned earlier, I don't know what Giants team or defense is going to show up. Is it the one that like actually, shut down the Eagles the other game, or is this the one that's going to get skunked and the Broncos just going to run up the scoreboard? I don't know. But I would definitely start Cortland Sutton with confidence, especially if you have him as a flex option, by all means. With that one, as far as the Giants, I put it to you like this: like I am big on Jackson Dart as a prospect. I do like he does have the it factor to me as well. But to my understanding, the Broncos lead the league in sacks, and I think they average about 5 sacks a game. So just think about that. Scatterboo, I feel like it's, this generation's Mike Allscott, the way he runs and just, thrives for contact and things like that. So, but once again, going against this Broncos defense, who I think also just got Greenlaw back, who's making his debut. So that actually helps the linebacker position out a lot. Like, take everything with a grain of salt with the New York Giants on offense today, because I don't know how productive they will be, or more so, I don't think they can duplicate the same performance that they did against the Eagles. All right, Packers, Cardinals. We already talked about it. Josh Jacobs game time decision. Also, they had the flight delay and all that stuff. I mean, between all of that, and then we also have been forever trying to figure out the wide receiver position for the Packers. you just take everything with a grain of salt. If you have to start some of these players, by all means, I get it, but take it with a grain of salt. As far as the Cardinals, the running back position, that kind of like with Bam Knight showing up last week, and it makes things a little interesting. So, if you have to start him with Carter in the flex, if you really have to, okay. But I would steer clear of that. Jacoby Brissett starting again. I mean, the offense actually looked functional. Like the passing game actually looked functional. Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's worth a start. And I would feel good about Trey McBride as well. I get it. That Packers defense is pretty good, but if Brissett can get the ball out quickly and make quick decisions and not lollygag and not playing Call of Duty like his starting quarterback, then I think he might have something there. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, we got 4 more left. London game, once again, less than 10 minutes away. If you have any questions, let me know. All right. The highest over-under on the slate. Commanders, Cowboys. Pretty much Vegas says there's no defense being played. It's going to be all offense. We're going to do 7-on-7 drills, running up the scoreboard. So the ones that have been waiting on CeeDee Lamb, congratulations. You made it to this point in this particular matchup. You did well. I don't know what that means exactly for George Pickens just yet, but in this particular matchup overall, he's worth a start. Javonte Williams has been excellent, and of course, he's worth a start. Dak Prescott has been phenomenal. I tell you what, so in the 9 leagues that I'm in, I'm undefeated in 2 of them. I'm 6-0-2, including the Discord league for this podcast. And my starting quarterback is Lamar Jackson, but as you know, he's been hurt. Dak Prescott just came right on in and continue to do work. And I'm glad that, once again, I get the benefit of having Dak Prescott in this matchup here. So, and then on the other side of the ball, I mean, there is no Terry McLaurin. Once again, there is no Deebo Samuel. If I'm not mistaken, I heard that, is it Luke McCaffrey is the number 1 wideout for their team entering today, which he has been good when given the opportunity. He's been productive. So I guess let's see what he does in more of a full-time role today in that matchup. Jake said, is Puka not playing? I know he's questionable, and I think there's a chance that he doesn't play. I think there's a good chance he doesn't play. The pass catchers for the Buccaneers is probably going to be you, me, my cat down here, and my neighbor that's walking the dog in the rain across the street. I think that's it. No, but yeah, a lot of the I don't think Puka's going to play. I think Mike Evans still questionable. Godwin's already out. Bucky Irving's out. And then the fact that, like you said, too risky because it's a Monday night game. So if you do not have a backup option, a competent backup option that's playing on Monday night, and you don't want to roll the dice, I suggest you make plans to play somebody today on that one, just to be safe. So, but yeah, as far as the Commanders, like they just like the Bucs, they're out of a lot of people too. Maybe Jaden Daniels can still find a way because, as we know, the Cowboys' defense has been super atrocious. Can Little Bill here, actually run the ball against the Cowboys? We'll see. But nevertheless, 54.5 over under. Playing accordingly. Oh, yep. Yep, right in the Chicagoland area. It's been raining since yesterday. I mean, I guess for what it's worth, I mean, it hasn't rained in the last 30 days. It hasn't rained too much, so I guess we were due. but could be worse. Could be worse. All right. So, and then a Sunday night football game, Falcons, 49ers. So, I mentioned a couple minutes ago, I was undefeated in 2 leagues, the Discord league for this podcast. And then the other league. The other league is I call it the main league because that's the first league I pretty much started and been doing that for about 16, somewhere between 15 to 17 years. It's been around that long. It's a 2-quarterback league. And last Monday, this past Monday, I was down 121 to 39. I only had 39 points. The guy I went against, he was out of players. I still had 5. I had Josh Allen, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Roma Dunze, and Zach Ertz. And Bijan and Drake London by themselves pretty much catapulted me. I ended up winning by 20. But nevertheless, the 49ers and the Falcons, 47.5 over under. George Kittle comes back. And I kind of mentioned it earlier. If the Falcons can play offense like they did last week, and the Niners with Mac Jones, who is Tom Brady 2.0 in this system for whatever reason, if he can continue to be productive, you're going to have a lot of fantasy players that's going to go off and have a lot of points. In theory, it should. So anybody worth starting is worth starting. Now, I would say with George Kittle coming back, the targets for Bourne and Jennings and all that stuff, you might have to take with a grain of salt with that one, trying to see exactly, what's to the offense at that point. But we all know that Christian McCaffrey will be the wide receiver 1 on that team because he's getting that many looks. And once again, for the Falcons side, just do what you did last week and everything will be great. All right, full PPR, ETN, Devontae Smith, Trey Tucker. I'm leaning Devontae Smith. It's close between ETN and Smith. But I'm leaning Devontae Smith because if Jalen Hurts does what he's supposed to, get the ball out early and often, Devontae Smith can definitely benefit a lot in that matchup against the Vikings. He definitely can. So yeah, you're right. It's game time. I pretty much got you all here to game time. 2 more games left in this slate real quick. Buccaneers, Lions. What more can you say about the Bakers, man, and Baker Mayfield? Like, for me personally, he's my favorite for MVP in the NFL right now. I know at least 4 of the 5 wins that they have are, game-winning drives per se. But we kind of talked about it earlier, the lack of pass catchers for the Buccaneers right now. So that means maybe the Sterling Shepherds of the world, Ted Johnsons of the world, like Kate Ottens of the world, maybe they may step up and do something. I mean, somebody got to catch the ball, but you can actually say in this particular offense that somebody will catch the ball and somebody will be productive. Rashad White, that's another one. Like, and knowing that they're going against the Lions and that these 2 teams had a phenomenal postseason game 2 years ago. Like, points gonna be had. It's the over-under is 53.5. So with that being said, on the Lions side of the ball, look, I have Jameson Williams in a couple of leagues. I'm knowing on this over-under, I think I'm gonna play him in my flex and have some confidence behind it. I mean, we all know that he just needs one good one, and everything else is just icing on the cake. But of course, you start the regular players. I mean, we're not going to overthink this. Gibbs and Montgomery and Amon-Ra. I mean, golf is worth starting too. I mean, so enjoy that one. And that one is the first game, 6 p.m. Central Time, Monday night. And then the last one, Texans, Seahawks. Who was that earlier? Was that Foxborough? Where I said, I do not trust the Houston Texans to go all the way to Seattle on a primetime game and be productive on offense. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. So I take everything with a grain of salt in that one. The one player that you should start with confidence is JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Like, he's been freaking phenomenal. I think I heard somebody call him Puka Nacua light. Like, he's the diet version of Puka Nacua. He's been balling. So yeah, that's pretty much the slate. I know I haven't had a chance to pretty much say, join the Discord. So even though that we're on here, and I say we're because it's usually more than one of us, but I'm happy to be here by myself. Even though we're on here for, hour and a half, 2 hours every Sunday morning, the Discord goes on for 7 days a week. And the community is growing, and there's plenty of interaction with like-minded individuals. As at the end of the day, everybody's goal is the same, trying to win. And so I'm going to post this link really quick for anybody that has not joined the Discord and you're curious. You have more questions. Bam, I just posted it right there. So yeah, we got kickoff there in London. Of course, Trevor Lawrence gets sacked. What else is new? Verse. Okay. All right. So just so you know, as far as this podcast, we are live on Facebook. Got the Facebook going again. Last week was a anomaly. YouTube, Twitch. Shout out to Twitch, like Deshaun would say, because we've been getting a lot of value from Twitch this year, and it's always appreciated. We appreciate each and every one of you all that participates, joins, asks questions, join the Discord, part of the fantasy leagues. With all of it's appreciated. So, all right. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess hop off here, watch the London game, get my lineups together. I usually do a TD parlay, and I will have, if you're in the Discord, I'll post it. I will post it. You got my word. I will post it. The last couple of weeks, we've been missing it by one leg every single time, and it's off of things that shouldn't have never occurred. So it is what it is. But all right, this is Jamar, Destination Fantasy podcast. This is week 7. We'll be back next week for week 8. Till then, good luck, everyone. Bear down.